Oh, this is not good. How's it going? Oh my gosh, could I have any more difficulties than I'm having right now? I have no idea what is going on. Everything is frozen. For some reason, OBS or Twitch just decides like, hey, things are gonna be frozen, and things are gonna be really lagged, and things are gonna be buffering. And my connection is totally fine. I'm 100% blaming this on Twitch. I can't even see my own face. There, now I can. How's it going? Man, talk about, man, how difficult can I make this for everyone? One, I apologize to everyone first for being late. No excuse, had something to do. Thought we'd be back in time, and the hike we went on took a lot longer than I thought. So then I was like, cool, well, I'll be 30 minutes late. I'll hurry up and get back here. Everything will work out fine. No, everything is broken. Everything is broken, so I do apologize. I see myself frozen right now. This is probably gonna happen a lot, and I know my my audio is still going, but for some reason, my video is frozen. And on top of that, when I see it on Twitch, it's super lagged. So I think Twitch is having problems, because when I look at my own stream coming back through Twitch, it's all over the place. So I apologize. I'll do this as long as I can, so I apologize. If this is your first time here, I do apologize. This is not normally how it is. Look at any of my VODs, usually super smooth, but something is definitely up. So anyways, man, thank you guys for being here. There was a lot of people in here chatting while I was getting things set up, so greatly appreciate that. I was like, wow, people are having a conversation in here. I'm not even here yet, so thank you for that. I did see Nolrout and Mafni in there talking. I do apologize. I had to clear chat because I was trying to fix something with caching, and obviously I really can't tell if it's working or not now. I'm looking at 3 different screens, one for OBS, one for Twitch, and then in my mobile. They're all showing vastly different things, so this is not going to go well. So I do apologize, one, for being late, and then for whatever's going on right now. I get a lot of stuff to figure out. I honestly think it's Twitch. Who knows? Because my OBS stuff says, 0 drop frames. 0 drop frames, 60 frames per second, and my upload is, it's kind of weird. It's going slow and then fast, which tells me it's usually Twitch. Like their ingest servers can't keep up with everyone today, is what it's telling me. So anyways, I'm gonna try to do it. If it's very painful, I totally understand if you don't want to stick around, and if it's super painful, I might end it early too. So let's get into it. What are you guys working on? Happy Saturday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I know I did for sure, and hopefully you guys got to enjoy a little bit more time off than you normally have. Man, this is, I don't even know what to look at. Okay, I gotta ignore what's really going on in Twitch and just look at Twitch chat, because this is so not good. Anyways, man, so what are you guys up to? Let's go back here. So Nora, hey, I heard my alert, but there it is. Nora, hey, I was just calling off your name. Hey, thanks for the sub. Thanks for the continued support. Really appreciate it. Super weird. I could hear the noise, but not see the scene. I don't know. It could be part Twitch, part me. I know my internet connection is fine and stable, but I did like move around a ton of stuff, and OBS depends on that stuff. And so I was like fixing scenes, and it's a mess. So I apologize. Nolrout, hey, how's it going? Oof, there goes my life story. PC Geek, how's it going? Mafni, how you doing? Yeah. I had to clear the chat earlier, but I already explained that. Boom IT, that looks like a newer one. How you doing? How's it going? Soto's first, huh? You weren't first. Not this time. You were close. But you probably got the notification multiple times. Who knows what's going on right now, because I'm frozen. Not really sorry, Tim's been having difficulty. Yeah, I have. This is not good and or normal. I should try on YouTube. I should totally just like go on YouTube and stream there right now, because this is I gotta have a backup plan like that for sure. But this is all weird to me and probably weird to you. Let me see here. Takano, hey, how's it going? How you doing? You got your lights up yet? I've been seeing your progress. It seems like you're making a lot of good progress. Saw some lights up at your house. Got a little sneak peek, and I think you're going to be working on the controllers here soon. You blame the light bot. Yeah, the bot was not online too because I had to take that off temporarily to figure out what's going on. No route. Just use the cloud instead of your own PC. It's it's a giant one we all share together. Yeah, totally. If I could offload some of this somewhere else, that would be awesome. And just send my video up there. But yeah, who knows? Yeah, it is cutting in and out. It is cutting in and out for sure. What's up, nerds? Lazen, how's it going? How you doing? Buffer City. Yeah, it is totally Buffer City. And I can see it. Like, I'm frozen for 10 seconds at a time, but my audio's still coming through, which is super odd. I wonder if I can change my like bit rate in real time and have it do something different and or work. Can I don't know. I'll change my quality, performance, sure. Go crazy. I don't know. Cause if I look at my GPU, like my GPU is totally fine. CPU is totally fine. Like everything's fine. It's just Twitch wants to freeze on me for whatever reason. Man, I'm gonna try my best to go through this, but I know it can't be the best experience for you guys. It's definitely jarring for me because I can't even. I honestly, when it freezes, I can't really see what's going on. So let's go. Dark Gumby, hi y'all. This is my first Twitch stream ever. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Like I said, this is atypical. This is not normal. Look at my VODs. It's usually super smooth. Lights, bots, everything working. Today, not so much. But welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hopefully it settles down here soon because, yeah. But anyways, just show must go on. So I'll keep going. Takano Christmas Light Show. Yeah, you're getting there, man. Chicano, Dark Gumby, welcome to Twitch. It's usually like this now. Messing around's pretty good. Yeah. Abysmal, I'm trying to reverse proxy my stuff and get it working. When I edit the host file and add my domain, it works. When I remove it and use my actual domain, nothing loads. So Abysmal, a couple things. So I think I know where you're getting caught up. So if you're adding your domain to the host file, and it works. Let me think about this. When I edit my host file and add my domain, it works. Which I assume then you mean you're going to be pointing it at your reverse proxy, which is probably traffic, and then it works. And then when you do it, when you remove it and it doesn't work, you'll still need, like internally in your network, you'll still have to point it somewhere because it has to resolve back to those servers, unless you're going to do some NAT reflection or something like that. So a couple things. One, I would try it on a mobile device. Like take your local machine out of the picture. Totally take it out of the picture, take your own DNS out of the picture, and go on your mobile device and try to get to your domain or your website externally using public DNS and see if you can route that way. Because then that will rule out anything on your local network. And that's a little bit easier than to troubleshoot because then you're like, okay, yeah, I can get through, which means MetalLB is working, which means traffic's working, which means Kubernetes is working. Now it's something internally onto my domain. And so what I usually do is that first. And if that starts working, then I just go, then I'm like, okay, it's something with DNS. And really, at the end of the day, internally, your internal DNS, you're going to end up making an entry, host, or not a host, an A record or something pointing at your MetalLB IP endpoint that you created. But try it externally first. Included null. I'm still trying to figure out my 4-node 1U cluster. Nice, man. You went all out. I have 2. You have 4? I might reduce the count to 3 to make things easier. Nice. Nice. I keep wondering if I should add one more. Included null. What are you running into? How is 4 getting confusing? Is it because you're running HA and quorum, or is it because it's just too much to manage? Let me know. Linux Tux 23, whole lot of Tux in there. Hey, how's it going? How are you? Boom IT, first time here too. Oh my gosh, I apologize. First timers, I apologize. It's not usually like this. Like I said, some weird stuff's going on today, and it's not like that. Usually pretty on time and stream's pretty smooth, so I'm gonna keep going. PC Geek, if you're frozen, just let it go. Let it go. Can't hold you back anymore. Yeah. Oh yeah, I like the reference. I like the reference, and I am considering let it go. I'm gonna try. Dark Gumby, audio sounds fine to me when the video does work. It looks great. Hey, I know. Thank you guys for the feedback and helping me troubleshoot. I have like 15 windows open right now, and I'm kind of trying to, while I'm answering these questions, keep my eye on things that are seem a little bit out of place, or that are using, I don't know, resources that I don't want them to. But anyways, yeah, no clue. PC was fine when I left, came back from a hike, and now all things are crazy. So, yeah, yeah. Anyways, no route. I'll just type it again. I'm doing an online game this weekend called Crime Diggers. It's a game that involves hacking and IT forensics tasks, and it's a real challenge. I'm at challenge 7 out of 10, but I'm stuck. Nice. Nice. I've never heard of it. Sounds super interesting. Yeah, it's like an RPG, a classic RPG, but with IT forensics. Sounds awesome. Let me know how it goes. Ichiban Death. If I recall, you can change the bitrate in OBS while live. Thank you. Yeah, I did turn everything down. And the weird part about it is, which makes me wonder, is that even OBS is showing a lagged image too. And it's not like, it's like OBS is kind of getting hung up for about 10 seconds at a time every now and then. Even though CPU's fine, low, not dropping, for some reason OBS is also kind of not feeling so well. So I'm gonna change one more thing. I will drop the bitrate to 4500. 45. I don't know if that's gonna do anything. I'll give it a go. PC Geek, it still freezes if I set it down to 722, so it's something on the upload side for sure. WAN or Twitch and Jess acting up. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I just dropped, yeah, there it goes. I was gonna say I just dropped the bitrate and who knows, but it's still going. Shame on the whole thing is it is in Dutch though. You would have shared it with others, not Dutch speakers. Bacon Bite, your video's really on point. Don't worry. Thanks. I appreciate it. It just stinks when things go wrong, when you look forward to stuff and then it doesn't work out the way. But that's life, right? Senpai Carter, hey, Techno Tim in chat. I was promoted to the IT department at my job after several rounds of interviews. It doesn't feel like like Morpheus is going to come in and tell me to take the red pill, but it's been an incredibly humbling experience as someone who has zero IT experience and no certifications, but a passion and a hobby of home labbing. Hey, Senpai Carter, that's awesome. Congratulations on your promotion and breaking through into IT. That's fantastic. Hopefully the things you've been doing at home and home labbing has helped you out. Hopefully you had some things to point to and say, hey, here's the types of things I like and do. This is what I'm interested in. And hopefully they saw that passion too. So congratulations. That's really awesome. Takano, but yes, controller progress today, hopefully. All right. Kick is good. All right, touchdown. Dak Invite, Tim, so I just finished watching your reverse proxy video with rancher traffic in MedLLB. Have you ever done a reverse proxy via Nginx utilizing certbot for your Let's Encrypt SSL deployment? I've used, so let's talk about the pieces individually. I've used Nginx a ton. All of my web apps, I usually put a reverse proxy in front of, and then I've used certbot a ton for, obviously getting Let's Encrypt certificates, and I've done it many different ways, from scripts to containers to you name it. Have I used the two together? I haven't. So I know that there's the Nginx, what is it? Nginx, I don't know. They basically branded some open source project, branded a couple of things and put them together, and it's Nginx, I don't know, load balancer, something like that. And I haven't used it yet. I was actually looking at it this morning, so I haven't done it. And I understand the bits and pieces. I just when I was going down that path, I looked at traffic. Traffic looked really new, interesting. It's been gaining a lot of steam lately, and I went with it. That doesn't mean I'll always use it, but I think it's great. It's great for now. Possibly in the future, I'll have something else. You know, I am looking at a TCP load balancer too, and I'll throw it all out there. And traffic, you know, has a hard time with it. So traffic does great on HTTP load balancing. So does regular Nginx. But when you start to get into TCP, I guess a different layer, you know, some do it better than others. Like Nginx now has a product that does, I think it's Nginx Plus, and possibly their latest one will do load balancing with TCP and UDP. And, you know, there are others out there, like AGA Proxy. So I'm not saying I'm sticking with traffic forever, but I think that traffic is definitely a good fit for web traffic. Hey, nuclear knuckle fusion. I'm going with knuckle fusion. Hey, thanks for the sub. Really appreciate it. Thanks for the support. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Sorry, things are freezing up and you didn't get to see the full alert, but I do appreciate it. I'll try to trigger it again now. There we go. Before it freezes, I'll play it again. Thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate it. Thank you. Takano, Twitch should check their DNS servers. Tell me about it. Yeah, DNS, they need to run sudo Twitch right now. Sudo Twitch work. Totally. We have to sudo and reboot, yeah, or run as administrator, please. Please run Twitch as administrator right now. Oh, tell me about it. Hey, well, I'm still having fun. VTCN, hey, how's it going? Dakenbyte, look at Nginx Reverse Proxy Manager. There we go. It handles Let's Encrypt for you, and that's what I was just talking about. The one that totally bundles up a few products into one, Nginx Proxy Manager. Thank you for that. Dakenbyte, hey, thank you. Thanks for the sub. Really appreciate it. Sorry about the freezing. Included null are in my cluster. I'm trying to fit 4 mini PCs into a single one-use space along with a KVM switch. That sounds awesome. That sounds really awesome. Yeah. Sweet. So then you'll have like a mini cluster of PCs in a 1U slot. That sounds sweet. Sotos, what was your first programming language? Mine was GW Basic around 1995. Oh, I don't know. My first programming language? I don't know. I remember when I was a kid, I did like this. It wasn't even a programming language. I think it was some computer camp to teach kids about programming, and it was Logos 2D, and I had this little thing called a turtle, and I used to draw lines with it, but the turtle was just a triangle. I don't know why it was called a turtle, and that was more visual programming. And then I did a whole bunch of tech stuff on a Commodore 64 for fun. I wrote all these Choose Your Own Adventure word text games. That wasn't really programming, that was scripting. So I think my real first programming language was either VB.NET or C#. It was one or the other. And I think it was C#, but I learned both at the same time, which was super hard because I had to do a lot of .NET support, .NET stuff. Which the company I worked at was in between, they were supporting old VB.NET while writing C#. So I learned both at once, and talk about confusing. But I think the first one I really learned and grasped was C#. So no route. Another thing I did last week was pretty obscure, but I like the process anyway. I'm pretty much restricted to a VM lab provided by my school where I can deploy a few templates. They offer pfSense as a router firewall, but I like OpenSense. I found out that you can convert pfSense to OpenSense using the OpenSense bootstrap script, so I got that running, and now I'm using OpenSense even though it's not offered as an option. Man, that is awesome. You totally, I like it. You totally hacked around it. And you converted it. That's sweet. Yeah, that's awesome. That's super weird. Yeah. Hey, where there's a will, there's a way, right? Hey, Sotos gifted a sub to Dark Gumby. Hey, enjoy your gifted sub, Dark Gumby from Sotos. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Sorry about the freezing. No idea what's going on. But yeah, Dark Gumby, hey, thanks for enjoy your gifted stuff from Sotos. Sotos. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Scano, you guys should report the playback issues. They have a video stutters and auto completely fine as an option. Oh, I like that. Man, sounds like they've had this problem before. If they have a quick pick that's exactly what's going on right now. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Sotos started out with Apple II Basic back in 1983. Nice, nice. PC Geek, do you run your OBS as admin? Sometimes it helps. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I do. Because yeah, and so if you're not familiar, if you run OBS with admin, it puts that process on a higher priority, even if it's running in the background. So yeah, I always do. I updated my shortcut a long time ago as soon as I heard that trick and I ran it. To be honest though, I never really had a problem, but I was like, everybody's doing it, and even OBS says it's a problem, I better do it. Dakenbyte, as a container, or is this specifically a library loaded with Nginx container? Abysmal. So it does not work on my cell phone, if I understand this correctly. Even though I use Cloudflare as my DNS provider, I need to have internal DNS set up to point to my MetaLB. No, so the flow, and I'll try to do this before it freezes, is your public DNS, you have it point to your public IP. Your public IP then does port forwarding for 80 and 443 to your MetaLB IP. And then your MetaLB IP will inspect that traffic, look at the header, see the website it's requesting, and then route it to your Docker container. Awesome, I got that little visual before I froze up. So that's kind of the flow. That's kind of the flow. So to be honest, you don't need any internal DNS setup at all pointing to your workload or to MetaLB, because if it's all coming through the public web, you let public DNS handle the resolution. Your firewall then port forwards 80 and 443 to your load balancer, which is traffic. Well, technically, you point it to MetaLB, and then it should just work, because then it'll inspect the header and see where it's trying to get routed to. So it's something either with, it's one of those things. And I bet it's port forwarding to the wrong port. You should port forward to, I think, your MetaLB IP, that endpoint you exposed. Not VPN, doing my final project right now, improving user interaction using eye tracking and maybe machine learning. Man, that sounds super awesome. So eye tracking and machine learning. So obviously then you have a camera. The camera can identify eyeballs, and then it can see where your eyeballs are looking at on a screen. That sounds awesome. It sounds awesome. I've seen similar things before, but that sounds super sweet. VTCN, it's a front end for Nginx, but it can also handle management of your certs. Yeah. A lot of people love it. A lot of people love Nginx Proxy Manager. And so Nginx Proxy Manager and Traffic are trying to accomplish the same exact thing. So they're a head-to-head competition against each other. So if you're looking for an alternative to Traffic, absolutely, Nginx Proxy Manager is a fantastic one, or vice versa. Trying to accomplish the same thing. Nginx Proxy Manager does have a GUI too, a pretty nice GUI to configure everything and monitor your traffic though too, and stats and you name it. BC Geek, thanks for the help. So set MetaLB's IP. Hey, Colluded Null, thanks for the bits. Appreciate it. Hype Train. All right, Hype Train's kind of working. I think. I see the notification. I don't know if it's really working. Who knows what's going on with Twitch. Set MetaLB's IP on 443 and 80. I gotta think about this one. This is, I'd have to look at my guide again, but that's where you're port forwarding that traffic to, is to that MetaLB endpoint that you created. All right, High Train kind of worked, but thank you. Appreciate it, Cludenel. Thanks for the bits. Appreciate it. Dakin, have to check that out. Interesting. The PC Geek, NPM can do TCP. Nice. When I see NPM, I think Node Package Manager and not Nginx Proxy Manager. So when I see that in Discord, I'm like, NPN can do TCP or NPN can do all these things? I'm like, no way. And I'm like, oh, they're a totally different acronym. I'm thinking in the developers version of NPM. That's awesome. That's awesome that they can do TCP because I'm looking for a load balancer for some stuff. So if NPM can handle, because I know that traffic can actually handle TCP and UDP somewhat. It's just not, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't built to do that originally. But yeah, I mean, if people use NPM or not Node, Nginx Proxy Manager for a load balancer to put in front of stuff like MySQL, that sounds fantastic. Sounds like something I'll use in the future very soon, like after this stream, because I've been doing a lot of research. I haven't settled on one yet because I need to set up a load balancer in front of my database server to load balance those requests and give some high availability. But yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, that's definitely on my list. It was that, HA Proxy, Nginx Plus, which requires a subscription, and then there was traffic. Those are the three that I were looking at, which Nginx Plus was kind of out the window because I'm not going to pay for enterprise for my home lab. Deck and Byte. Awesome, Tim. Thanks for the information. Sounds solid. Hey, yeah, no problem at all. Freezing must be the weather. Yeah, it is. Actually, it's super nice out here right now. Maybe it's the opposite, at least here. Abysmal. I did fix it once. I fixed it, but now sadly I've realized my 1 meg upload is not suitable to do this. Yeah. PC Geek, yeah. Included, no. I think there was an actual turtle robot that you could control too. I think we had one in school. That's awesome. Yeah, that turtle I had, it was Logos 2D. I wonder if it's still around. And I even Googled it like later on in life because I was like, this is so awesome. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Yeah, this must be Twitch with the problem because I just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 follows, and they weren't bots. And I can tell because they're all like people's names like spelled different and everything. Anyways, I'll call them out real quick. So yeah, definitely Twitch is having some problems right now because they're way behind on stuff, I can tell. Their ingest servers are probably overloaded right now, if I can guess correctly. And I know nothing about their infrastructure other than they have these ingest servers which take in video. And yeah, so Boom, IT, Abysmal, Age, Rockstar, Physics Studio, McFlabby, Nuclear Fusion, Johnny Silverhand, Hearththane, GeForce, Dark Gumby, Dakin, and Scylla. Thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Yeah, all came in at once. It's not me, not mine. I would say it works on my machine, but I have no idea because my machine points to Twitch's machine, and Twitch's machine isn't working right now. OpenSense is love. OpenSense is life. All right, man, we got some OpenSense fans in here. I enjoyed it too while I used it the short while I did, for sure. Abysmal. By the way, thanks for the videos. It's been helpful. This is my first stream here. Abysmal, thank you. I apologize. Again, I keep apologizing to everyone that's joining. Twitch is having issues. Everything's delayed except for my voice. So I'm going to keep talking. And if it doesn't clear up here in a little bit, I'll save you guys the pain. Abysmal, yeah, I just wanted to do as a proof of concept. I will definitely be adding local DNS system for my LAN so it's not laggy for me. Nice. Dark Gumby, considered the video glitches as max headroom mode. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Yeah, max headroom. Yeah, I forgot about him. He did the laughing, he was everywhere for a while in the 90s. Or early 90s or late 80s or something. It was like, he was doing Pepsi, he was on Back to the Future, kind of, sort of. Yeah, he was everywhere. Which, yeah, anyways, I totally get that joke. I remember who he was. I was super young, but I remember it. Hope you enjoy your company here. Yeah, thank you. Guebero, what are your thoughts on Unraid? Yeah, this comes up. I think this comes up every other stream. So I don't have a ton of thoughts. Well, I'll say this. I have a lot of thoughts. I just don't have a ton of experience with Unraid. I get it. I totally understand what they're trying to do. It seems like a solid product. Seems like they're going for, consumer, home, like, hey, I have all this commodity hardware. I want all of this stuff to work inside of one device. And it seems fantastic. It seems to do exactly that. They've made a lot of the hard things really easy, like GPU pass-through, hardware pass-through, spinning up Docker containers, JBOD with a little bit of redundancy and stuff like that. So I love what they're doing. I just don't have any experience with them. So for me, I've kind of handpicked a lot of my favorite, I guess, services or capabilities that I want within my home lab or within my home network or my home production or whatever we're calling it these days. I handpicked a lot of different things to do things that Unraid does by itself because they're trying to be just like the all-in-one, which I think is super awesome. But for me, I handpicked TrueNAS because that's going to be my network attack storage. I handpicked Rancher because that's going to coordinate Kubernetes for me, which gives me Docker. I handpicked Proxmox because I think it's a great hypervisor, and that's, what I'm going to use to do virtualization. And so, I'm making it unnecessarily complex on myself, but I kind of compartmentalize all those capabilities and then pick a product that I want to use for those to give me those capabilities. And so Unraid's trying to do everything all at once. I think it's awesome. I have no bad things to say against Unraid. I've never used it, but it seems like they have a great community. They got a plugin community, and a lot of people really like it. So yeah, those are my thoughts. But I have zero experience with it other than what I read on the internet. So yeah, it seems awesome. So a lot of people are really passionate about it, and that speaks volumes about that product. A Lincoln show. I started with Pascal, then Visual Basic or VBasic. Visual Basic. All right. Vermium Seifel. Hey, how's it going? Myhan official. Can you make a video explaining UDMP and access points network? Kinda. Maybe. Possibly. I have, some UDM Pro stuff sprinkled in. My network upgrade is one where I just talked about everything all at once. It was a lot of hardware and setting up and plugging in. But I didn't really deep dive into, how things work, because I think that there are videos out there who do it really well. And so one of those channels that it comes up every time someone's like, can you do a video on UDM Pro or anything like that? I automatically point them at It's My Natural Color. And so he has a 4-part series on his upgrade, a migration from, his previous network to his new network, which is all based on Unify. And he talks through it, and he does a really great job. And so, I'll point you there. So look for It's My Natural Color. Just Google it. It's like he won SEO on It's My Natural Color. It's his YouTube channel. And he has a 4-part series on setting up his UDM Pro and the different steps. And so I would encourage you to look at that because he does a great job. And I would never be able to do something as good as he does. And so I encourage you to check out his channel for that. That's not to say it's not out the window in the future if something big changes. But a lot of my videos are point in time and like, just like I ask all of you guys to share what you're working on and what we're all interested in and what problems are you having and what challenges do we face this week or what challenges are we trying to solve today? A lot of my videos are that same thing. I mean, they're just an evolution of my infrastructure. And so there are some that I have planned ahead of time, but most of them are just what I was doing last weekend. If you look at the last 4 videos, it's what I was doing last weekend. I'm going to document it. And so last weekend, I was, setting up, redoing all of my Proxmox infrastructure. I was like, this is a great opportunity for me one, I've learned a ton since the first time I've done it, not only about Proxmox, but about how to edit. So I was like, this is a great opportunity to kind of refresh all of my Proxmox tutorials in one, except for how do you install it, because that's pretty easy. And so, and the week before that, I released my 1U server video, and that's exactly what I was doing that weekend. So anyways, there are a few times when I go seek something out that I'm not actually doing. So since I've already set up my UDM Pro and gone through and set up my access points, I rarely revisit those things to make videos because I have a couple on them. I have one on, how to create a Wi-Fi bridge. Super niche, Most people won't need to do it, but if you get two, UDM pros and need to create a bridge, I got a video on it. And that's what I did that weekend, was creating a wireless bridge. And the same thing with my network upgrade. So anyways, not out of the question, but most of the time it's my weekend project. That's what I'm doing, and I'm going to document it, just like the one tomorrow. I'm going to do it and document it, and we'll see how it goes. But anyways, not out of the great question. Check out It's My Natural Colors. If in the future I need to do more stuff, then I'll definitely check it out and consider it. But thank you. Christopher. Ooh, this is a long one. Christopher Jonathan McKee. It's not as long as if you just sounded out. I'm doing what you wasn't doing. I'm doing what you wasn't mean to do. Tell me when you're done. Play some music. I don't know what you're talking about. And I don't know if that's a moat, but yeah, please clarify. PC Geek, on Nginx Proxy Manager, they call it a stream and do UDP and TCP now. Yeah, I noticed that. So I noticed that on just plain old Nginx, that they have a -- stream out flag or something like that. Awesome. Nginx Proxy Manager. Yeah, because my new infrastructure, I'm going to need an internal load balancer and an external load balancer that handle traffic. This is starting to get a little more complicated than I wanted to be, but hopefully I can break it down and still keep it easy. So I might use Nginx Proxy Manager, or at least Nginx, to be my internal load balancer, and then I might use traffic for my external load balancer. It seems complicated, but I want to know both. And I've been using Nginx for a reverse proxy for so long. And then now I have an opportunity to have two load balancers. Who knows why? I do. But I need to do some internal load balancing for some HA stuff. And then I need to do external load balancing for my public services. So I'm thinking hey, I could learn and maintain both. I'm making it too complicated, but I enjoy it. Canister Koppel, writing a program to reduce the time spent on my papers, less time spent on boring stuff. I like it. What's the program do? How can you reduce time? I love it. Is it? Yeah. Tell me more. Vermium Cyphel, super buffery. Yeah, I apologize. It's Twitch. I blame Twitch. PC Geek. Oh, for sure. Just started replaying the same thing from. Oh yeah. Oh, now it's replaying. Oh, that's not good. Abysmal. Does anyone self-host an email server? This one comes up a lot. Believe it or not. A lot of people in a lot of my comments ask me about self-hosting a mail server. And I haven't done that for 10 years, and I only did that just as kind of a proof of concept. Seems like people are starting to get interested in that again. It's interesting. These things, I don't want to say the trends or fads, but they come and go. 10 years ago, it's everyone was yeah, self-host everything. Then everything to the cloud. Now it's kind of okay, I want to self-host stuff again. So it's really cool. So anyways, I'm sure there are people out there. MailCow, I think, is one I hear about all the time. Know very little about it, but I hear about it all the time. People are can you make a video on MailCow? And every time I have to Google MailCow and look at it again. So now the question, it seems interesting to me. And I own 5 domains, and I don't have email for any of them. So that kind of sounds pretty interesting to me. At least to have, a Tim at whatever my domain is.com. I think I own more than 5 domains. I probably own 10. It'd be cool. It would be cool for sure. I'd need, you need lots of stuff. A spam filter. You need all kinds of stuff. And that sounds super interesting. So it is on my list. If enough people ask, and that weekend I want to set up a mail server for some of my domains, I'm all for it. But yeah, let me know. Let me see here. Sotos. Thanks for report this to Twitch for sure, because it's not good. I do see my bandwidth has kind of tapered off, but I still see everything freezing. Could you not stream on Discord voice also so we could see you without this lag? I don't know. Possibly. I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to stop the stream here, I'm probably not going to set it up elsewhere, only because then I'm going to run into my next challenges with getting my equipment now pointed at a different server. But it's a good option, and it's it's nice and it's sad at the same time. It's nice that I've never had to think about a plan B with Twitch because it's always just worked. And it's sad that I've never thought about a plan B because I should have. I mean, like I do with everything else. I always have a plan B. Have a plan B for hardware, software, you name it. And now with Twitch, I never had a plan B. Actually, you know, I could stream to YouTube pretty easily, but it would take another whole setup and config for alerts and all that. So anyways, maybe I'll investigate an easy way to be able to just say, hey, you know what? Like this isn't working out. Let me switch over to YouTube or Twitch or vice versa. For the day, not permanently. When things like this happen. Don't want to start any rumors. No route. I'm looking to set up CI/CD to auto-deploy my Jekyll site. Nice. My Git server is Git, and I'd prefer a solution that's self-hosted. Any tips? Okay, so yeah, this one's kind of tough. So if you want to go 100% self-hosted, and it is, and you are using Git, I would say you use Drone. I mean, if you want 100% self-hosted, spin up Drone really quick and run Drone CI runner. And if you're familiar with GitLab and how they do CI, it's exactly the same. The YAML syntax and everything's the same. I don't know if they're based on each other, but I use Drone at a company I used to work at, and then use GitLab at home. And I was like, this is exactly the same. It's so easy. So easy. So anyways, might want to check that out. If you want to run your CI at home, yeah, and run a full stack CI/CD at home. Yeah, Drone sounds like a good option. Yeah, Drone CI. There you go. Right after that. Linux Ducks. I want to run VBox machines on network share. Is this use case for Iscsi or Samba? Well, I think your options are Iscsi or NFS. I think are going to be your two best choices. A lot of people use Iscsi because you get block storage and you basically get a whole entire drive, and then you can create, you know, whatever. You just get block storage. If you do NFS, you get file level. And so they both can be used. I just don't think that Samba is going to have the performance to actually run your virtual machines over the network. I mean, maybe it will, but I always heard that there was a lot of overhead with Samba. And so I think the two choices people use for ESXi or Proxmox is usually Iscsi. But I think there's also a camp of people who also says NFS is okay too. I mean, it's in Proxmox. I just saw it the other day. But Samba, that might be a tough one because there might be an overhead associated with that. And how they write stuff too. I think it has to do with like synchronous versus async writes or something. And so it might be a little bit slower on Samba. But yeah, Iscsi can't go wrong. You just keep in mind that it is block storage. Included null. Is this what a respond looks like now? Oh, replying to, they changed some stuff. Okay. I love Unraid. I've got a 100 terabyte array right now. I love that I can keep expanding it. Yeah, that is something that I think Unraid is fantastic about Unraid too. The ability to expand your array. Something that ZFS, it's totally hard. Rumor is that's coming, and they're working on it, but who knows when that will be. But that is something I miss too. I mean, you have to make some pretty tough choices up front with ZFS, and you got to live with it, you know, and you can't change your mind. I mean, there are a few options to change your mind, like swapping out all disks in an array and then, you know, expanding it. Basically, you know, replacing every disk and, you know, with a larger size disk until the whole entire volume can expand. But, you know, that's not, might work in enterprise, but that doesn't work at home, you know? And so I do wish that ZFS was a little more flexible, for sure. And Unraid seems to give you some of that. Obviously not ZFS, but gives you that feature or that capability, which I think is awesome. Fermium Cyphel, cool, it's super awesome CI/CD tool. Yeah, also modern, yeah, for sure. I think you're talking about Drone. I don't know, Twitch changed how replies look again, so I don't know if I'm talking to the person who replied or said it. PC Geek, it's like direct access for disk versus going through Windows. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, Samba versus Iscsi, yeah. Doesn't Unraid charge per drive or something like that. I didn't think so. I thought Unraid just charged the one-time fee. It's basically 30-day trial, and then after that, it was one-time fee. But I could be wrong. Haven't done it. Haven't purchased it. So if someone knows, let me know. I'm Lymanson. Hey, how's it going? Has anyone had any luck with network boot through Iscsi to VMs on XCPNG? Using a storage drive with Iscsi that XCPNG controls works fine, but for the life of me, I can't get Iscsi boot where a VM uses iPXE, to get access to Iscsi drive. It keeps getting booted into init RAM. Yeah, I don't know. Haven't done it. That's a great question for everyone else. Probably for Discord too. I would throw it out there, but you know, I haven't done it. So I have nothing to comment other than, do you have the right DHCP options? But yeah, dude, I hope it works out for you because that sounds awesome. DAC invite. Tim, have you looked into doing anything on Draid, a variant of RAID Z for ZFS by any chance? I have not. I've only, I haven't explored too far outside of ZFS. I did look at ButterFS, just kind of, sort of. And that was only because I was kind of wanting some of the stuff that Unraid has to be able to dynamically expand a volume or some other features that I think that ButterFS seems to handle that ZFS doesn't. So I haven't looked at Draid. I know nothing about it. What does it give me that ZFS doesn't? Neuralinks, talking about Pixie, what does everyone run for home as their TFTP Pixie boot server at home? Yeah, great question. I would like to know the answer to that too. I haven't done Pixie boot in a long time. I used to love it. There were a few things like when I got into IT that I thought like, if I can have this at home, that's how I know I made it, or if I can get this working, that's how I know that, I know what I'm doing, which was obviously not even true because I still don't. But Pixie boot was one of them. Where I thought, this is fantastic. I can boot to the network in image machines. This is fantastic. Like, there's nothing better than this. And there were a couple other things like that too, but that was definitely one of them. I was just like, oh, Pixie boot, this is fantastic. Boot to the network, okay, an image machine or back it up with Semantic Ghost or whatever. Oh, it's great. Chicago Samurai, yeah, Borland, Pascal, and ASM, nice. Dakenbite. Also, does the Discord have a home lab picture section to upload your home labs? Oh yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, well, it's a channel called Sweet Setups, and it's whatever you throw in there. It could be your PC, it could be your server, it could be anything tech related. It could be your car, But yeah, we have a couple image channels. You should totally check them out. Lincoln Shadow, trying out WSL with Ubuntu. Nice. Did have some issues. Is it any good? Should I waste the time or wait to see how it evolves? Yeah, good question. So it has evolved a lot. So should you try it out if you're on your Windows? Absolutely. If you're on Windows and you do only PowerShell, probably not the best thing for you. But if you're on Windows and want to run Unix-like commands, like Linux commands on a Windows machine, 100% you should. If you're a software developer or anything like that, 100% you should, because you're going to get a Unix-like terminal. And you're going to use all the same commands you get to on most Linux machines, and even like a Mac. Are there quirks? Absolutely. So there's WSL 1 and 2. 2 is new, 1's been out for a long time. And there are quirks with both. A lot of performance problems or challenges, I guess you'd say, with 1. But then there's a lot of different challenges on 2. And so, I'll just really quick, the one that I've noticed that bugs me, that actually got me to revert back from WSL 2 to 1, was the way that they do networking. And so most people on their day-to-day won't care, won't notice about this, notice this at all. But I did revert back to WSL 1 only because the way that they do networking in 2. And networking in 2, I think it's kind of running a VM. So it has its own IP address on its own network, has its own firewall rules, and has a lot going on in there. And so for me as a developer, that kind of stinks, because when I want to host something from a terminal and I want to spin it up and debug something like a local web service or anything, I got to create all kinds of firewall rules and do all kinds of stuff that I don't have to think about on Linux, or I don't have to think about on Mac, or I don't have to think about on WSL1. So anyways, that's just one of the quirks that I found that had me revert back to 1. So anyways, long story short, going back to your question, should you wait to see if it evolves? Well, it already has evolved, and I think it doesn't hurt to get it on there. I mean, just think of how challenging it is right now to SSH into a Linux machine from Windows. And I know you're going to say like, hey, you just install PuTTY and you use this UI and like it's all easy. No, I get it. Yeah, if you're a fan of PuTTY or if you have all your SSH keys and all that stuff, yeah, that's great. But if you don't know about PuTTY and everywhere else you just SSH, name at IP address, whether on your Mac or Linux or a server or whatever, that same thing works on WSL once you use WSL. Hey, Easton, hey, thanks for the resub, 3 months, tier 1, 3 months. Thanks for the continued support. Really appreciate it. Thank you. How are you doing? Hello, I can't believe it's been 3 months. I can't either. I can't even believe I've been on Twitch for 3 months. So anyways, long story short, WSL, yeah, I would go for it. Heck yeah, I would. Because I went for it a long time ago. And it's what made, for me, as a developer or as a DevOps person or a home lab person or you name it, someone who spends a lot of time in the terminal, it made me like Windows a lot more. And, I don't, to be honest, I use Mac all day for work. I use Windows all night for everything else. I use Linux all the time. And, I have very few bad things to say about Windows lately. Like it's, a lot of people, it's easy to bash. No pun intended. Now that they run WSL, it's easy to bash. Oh, I'm here all day. So it's very easy to bash. But I think in the last couple of years, it's evolved so much. And WSL is one of those things where I was like, okay, now I don't have to feel like I'm on this island where I have to go into CMD. I have to install all these tools to make it Unix-like or Linux-like, just to be able to do my job, quote unquote, my job at home or my job anywhere. And so WSL was the thing where, to be honest, it actually made me spend more time on Windows because I would work on a Mac all day. I would do some stuff at night on Windows, but then I would just shut it back down and go back to Mac because the tooling was there. It was so easy to write code. It was so easy to write. It was so easy to SSH. Like everything was easy. Easy for me because, that's how I use it everywhere else. And so WSL, honestly, gave me, gave Windows a whole nother opportunity for me to use it a lot more. So anyways, I feel like I'm loving too much on Windows, but I'm super impressed with what they as a company, Microsoft, has been able to do the last couple of years, and especially for developers because it's getting better. Anyways, so yeah, check out WSL. Do you regret that you asked about WSL now? I don't know. I'm a huge fan, but not of 2 so much until they figure out the networking piece. I won't go into it again. But anyways, I'm Lymanson. Have DNS mask set up where TFTP, I tell clients to install iPXE software, which then makes HTTP requests to get Iscsi boot information from my TrueNAS server. Works great. Just that VMs inside of a hypervisor isn't working for me. VMs inside of a hypervisor aren't working for you. What hypervisor are you using? I'm Lymanson. Are you using Proxmox? And if so, is the Proxmox firewall thing on? Which, to be honest, I have no idea what that checkbox even does. I think it blocks internal communication, but I need to research to see what that checkbox actually means before I suggest to uncheck it. Because I haven't ever needed to touch that thing ever. But I'm just thinking of what makes this different from anything else. Because I assume your hypervisor is on that same network as everything else. I mean, you have probably a Linux spawn set up to your NIC that's on the network. It's on the same subnet, so it's getting that broadcast. I'm just throwing out ideas just in case. Let's see here. Hey, Chicago Samurai, how's it going? Hello from Chicago. Hey, welcome. And I apologize for the lag you're probably seeing. I'm just rolling with it. Just rolling with it. Neurlinks, I'm Lymanson. For my home setup, I haven't hard-coded anything on NICs. My custom DHCP server gives out the configuration for all boot information. Nice. Chicago Samurai, the show writes itself. All right, I like it. The code writes itself. The show writes itself. I like it. Neuralinks, that's a nice setup. I run a custom pre-seed script that one of my colleagues wrote at work. I am testing Maz, but it's pretty wonky. Okay, Maz, metal as a service. I keep that term comes up every now and then I keep refreshing myself on what it actually means and what it does. And I keep finding a way to use it for a lot of things. I need to find a way to apply it because it sounds really awesome. It's from Mozilla, I think. Warp-Master at the speed of light. All right. Lincoln Shadow. Thanks. You need to be in the Insider program to get that version. I don't know what version you're talking about. Oh yeah, WSL2. I don't know if you do. Maybe you do. Hey, Finnegan McGinnigan has subscribed tier 1. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Finnegan McGinnigan. That's a lot of Ginnigans in there. Finnegan McGinnigan. Thanks for the sub. Appreciate it so much. I'm Lymanson. Check out iPixie. It was a pretty nice setup for me. My understanding is that Pixie clients' capabilities are all over the place. So the main goal is to chain load into iPixie so you have a standard setup and get more capabilities like HTTP. I like this. Yeah, I need to check that out too. PC Geek. Because you have 2 servers, Tim? Oh man, I need to catch this thread. I don't remember which piece. Yeah, I'm usually good at catching threads. Sorry, I didn't catch that one. Techno Tim, any thoughts on Istio? I hear about it a lot. Yeah, that's a great question. I think I've used it kind of sort of before in GCP. But other than that, I don't have a lot of information on it right now. Soon I plan on having some more standardized logging and monitoring stuff for everyone. And maybe that'll be a part of my tool set then, but I don't at the moment. But yeah, great question. It's definitely in my backlog. It's on my list. I just need to advance my home lab, my production home lab stuff a little bit more, so that I can start looking at tools like that. So yeah, great question, Bokaj. Mafni, but you need to enable Hyper-V. Oh, if it is Hyper-V, okay. Fermium Cyphil. Should I do a public reverse proxy, VM reverse proxy, of the reason not to open more ports than 443 on the VM so I can do SSL for IPs on LocalNet? Should I do so from a public reverse proxy to my VM reverse proxy of the reason to not open more than 443? Oh, I see what you mean. You could. And so I would say I kind of do that, but I kind of get that for free. I see where you're going here. Basically to only expose port 443. But you could do that anyways, but then you could kind of mask your IP at the same time. So I would say, Cloudflare does it for free if you use them for DNS, which is super nice. You just turn on the proxy button and SSL and boom, all of a sudden you're going through their reverse proxy or their proxy. People are going through their reverse proxy to get to you. So they really never know your IP and it's encrypted in a tunnel, but then at the same time, you should have yours on too. But anyways, yeah, you could. How much, how complicated do you want to make it? And you totally could set one up in the cloud and then reverse proxy back to your IP so that people only know the first proxy for sure. Yeah, why not? Isn't Istio only for Kates? I think so. That's the only time I've seen it applied. I could be wrong. Subdubbing. Ever build a PC on Twitch? I have not. Done it live? No, I've never considered it. I think at some point when, video cards become available and new processors become available, I think I could, for sure, because sounds super fun. And I've done it I don't know, in my lifetime, probably, 50 times. I've probably built 50 PCs. And that's, I'd say 50, I don't know, roughly. Yeah, sounds cool. But kind of need hardware. And hardware right now is really hard to come by, especially video cards and CPUs, all the things that make up a brand new PC. So yeah, good question, Subdub. And maybe, I like it. I like where you're going with that. Deck and Bite. Don't do the self-hosted email. My God, the headaches. That's usually the next comment too, when people are like, in the, yeah. YouTube comments, people are like, can you do a video about self-hosted email? And then there's comments that are exactly like that. Don't do self-hosted email. So it goes both ways. And there we go, no route. And there, exactly what I was talking about. I self-host a mail server with MailCow. That's the one I hear about. I've been using it for over a year and it's great, easy to set up too. Nice. Neuralink, I heard Console can do routing and discovery akin to Istio. Nice. The PC Geek. To the person who asked about an email server, check out Mail in a Box. There's another one, so I haven't heard about that one. YouTube Live Neuralinks, yeah, I know. I don't want to switch everything over now. I keep giving Twitch the benefit of the doubt, and yeah, so I'm gonna hold off. But I need to make sure I have my plan B set up for next time something like this happens. I lost my Boy Scout badge for this one on the Be Prepared. Hey, Warp-Master, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Self-host on Twitch. Self-host Twitch, yeah. I'd have to, yeah. I could, yeah. I could self-host just the stream with OBS, but then all of you would need some kind of client to connect, unless I then built a website that had a client built in that could connect to my stream server, RTMP server, which sounds super crazy. No route. Why not live stream on YouTube? You probably have a larger audience too. Yeah, that goes both ways. People ask this a lot. I like Twitch. I like Twitch. I like the community on Twitch. I just like how Twitch works. And that's, so some aspects I do. There are other aspects, obviously I don't. I like to mix it up. There's a huge gaming community and all kinds of community on Twitch, where with YouTube, obviously there is some community, but YouTube's so gigantic. And the larger audience, that's TBD. You see some channels with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they go live and, there's 50, 100. So that, it's debatable, because there are a lot of factors in play. And so I'm not so much concerned about having a larger audience. I'm more concerned with just having good conversations, with people who want to be here. So to me, I'm not going after, I wouldn't switch because I want a larger audience. Absolutely not. It would never, if I ever switched, it would be for personal reasons. Absolutely. So, but yeah, great question. People ask me that a lot, but I like doing the Twitch live and the YouTube for on-demand stuff. It's kind of fun. I get to, try them both out, and I guess diversify, I guess. So if something goes wrong, I can hop on the other. Like I probably should have today. Hey, Tuxit, resub 1 month Tuxit has resubscribed tier 1, 3 months, 2 months streak. That's a whole lot of numbers in there. Tuxit, hello. Tim, love your work. Kiss from France. Whole blab rules. All right. Hey, Tuxit, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. No route. He has partner deal with Twitch. Oh, not partner yet. So I have a affiliate deal, and it's it's basically what it. This is all public, but what if it wouldn't affect me? I'll just say it that way. Like I could go and stream on YouTube later on today if I wanted. What they don't allow is broadcasting your stream simultaneously, and they've wrapped that in a package or a line item called exclusivity. So they basically say that on Twitch, once you reach affiliate, they have an exclusivity clause that says all of your original content can only live on their platform, has to live on their platform for 24 hours. And so what that ends up meaning is that you can't dual stream, once you become an affiliate, because that then, then you're in violation of the exclusivity clause because your content's not exclusive for 24 hours if you dual broadcast. So anyways, if I stop the stream and start the stream, that's all fine and good. It's just when you do the same thing in two places, that's when Twitch doesn't like it. So anyways, that's a whole bunch of stuff about how, the back office of Twitch kind of works, but super high level. Anyways, self-host Twitch. Yeah, I absolutely could. I know I could build it. I know I could build at least the website that hosted. 100% I could do it. I could probably do it in a couple days. I could probably do it in a couple days, and I already know in my head how I'd do it. I'd spin up some service here locally that was a RTMP server that could stream my OBS stream, allow clients to connect to that from a website that I host. Yeah, 100% I could do it, 100%. But I don't know if I want to put my time into that. But yeah, 100%. I guarantee if I had, I'd say 2 days. Take me 2 days to figure it out. And that's writing the code. Now I'm over promising. I'd write the code for the website. The website would be hosted over SSL. That then would have a little just whatever plugin window that connected to an RTMP server that I self-hosted. And then I would point OBS at that server and then it would work. But maybe I'm getting too confident. I'm making it seem a lot easier than it is, but I'd figure it out. Let's see here. Warp-Master. Whoa, whole lot. Warp-Master. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It is lagging. So if you've been joining the stream, I apologize. And well, first of all, thank you for hanging out this long while the stream keeps freezing, because it's probably super annoying. If it were my voice, then I guess it would be even worse. But it's only the video, so I'm just gonna kind of roll with it for a little bit. Yeah, but unfortunately, something's going on. So I appreciate you sticking around, and I apologize to those who have been here for the first time. Promise it's not always like this. Logic, reduce your stream settings, lower resolution work for me. Oh, maybe on the client side. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's a good point too. Maybe if you lower it on the client side. I've lowered it on my side. As low as it can probably go, at least without stopping and starting the stream. Neuralinks runs Ceph mount on Proxmox. Yeah, good choice too. Dakenbyte. Definitely Iscsi or NFS over SMB. Yes, the time is related to async. All right. Funny, because I was just reading all about that, I think yesterday, and when I was trying to troubleshoot some of my own Freenas or TrueNAS issues I was having, I was seeing that everywhere, that people were saying, obviously I'm not using SMB for something like that, but people were explaining some of the differences or why they choose certain storage types for certain medium. Thanks for the, okay, Senpai Carter. I look forward to when they enable dedupe and compression on BTRFS, on ButterFS. Yeah, for sure. Fermion Seifel, you like self-hosting, right? Absolutely. Why not use Ubuntu for all services like a NAS and everything you do, like TrueNAS for Simplify? I like it, Simplify. Maybe you should try to do everything on Docker from bare metal up in a VM then. Oh man, I thought you were going for simplicity. So Vermium Seifel, absolutely, I do love self-hosting. However, when it comes to certain capabilities, I try to leave those up to professionals or people who build products who do that, or make products that offer those capabilities. To me, spinning up an Ubuntu server and then trying to build a NAS on it with ZFS and everything else, and then a UI to manage it, and then how do I know when something goes wrong? How do I resilver? That all sounds pretty complicated to me. And so while it does seem simple to think that if I just spun up Ubuntu server for everything, or pick your Linux server, and then rolled all the services myself, I think that would be a little bit more complicated, at least for me, to try to manage all of that. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be, a ZFS administrator, and I know that that's valued. But for me, I don't have the time for that. So I just want ZFS or NAS on a platter, and TrueNAS gives that to me. And the same with the other things I pick. I want those things figured out and maintained and feature complete, or feature rich, I guess, by a team that knows and does that stuff well. Because at the end of the day, I don't have the time or expertise to build all those things out and manage all those things. Because it's not just building the thing; it's also all the care and feeding that goes into it. That sounds a little tough. And for the other things, yeah, absolutely. I always choose Docker containers to spin up services. I go with Docker containers first. But on NAS, that's kind of hard, right? Because just because of all the things that a NAS does, and storage it needs, and all the things you would end up mapping or things it needs from the OS, that makes that a little more difficult. But it might be complicated for me. Maybe not for you. You sound like you're up for a challenge. Ichiban Death. Unraid is a one-time fee, and you can upgrade your license to more drives, 4 drives, 8 drives, then unlimited drives. Oh man, I didn't know they had like a double license. Like it. Maybe not like it. Birmingham Seifel, I have 9 days left of my subscription here. Sad, because I'm only here on Saturdays, because otherwise it's midnight for me, and then school. Yeah, well, man, it's late for you. I appreciate you being here for sure. Takano, I like trying the banana emoji. Dakenbite. Tim, it is ZFS inside of OpenCFS. It is a variant of RAID Z that provides integrated distributed hot spares, which allows for faster resilvering while retaining the benefits of RAID Z. A DRAID VDEV is constructed of multiple integrated RAID Z groups, each with a D data device and P parity device. These RAID groups are distributed over all of the children in order to fully utilize the available disk performance. It's available as a pre-release repo for pull. That sounds really awesome. Yeah, thanks for the background on DRAID. I'll have to check it out for sure. Hey, Scallion, Potato. Hey, like them both. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Sorry about the stream lag. Something's going on. But appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Lincoln Shadow, Techno Tim, yep. And now with a 2, going to check it out. All right. Vermium Seifel, have you looked into GlusterFS? I haven't. I hear a lot about it. And I haven't. I've seen very little. I think that Serve the Home had a nice blog on it where they were talking about how they provided highly available storage to their Proxmox clusters using GlusterFS. So, I immediately was like, hey, maybe this is something I should be looking at. But then it just got a little more complicated than I wanted to. I didn't understand enough about it to actually then implement it and trust it and use it on a day-to-day that I was like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this is like V3 Home Lab with GlusterFS, because it seems awesome. And so, yeah, Serve the Home had a great article on talking about their new Proxmox infrastructure, and I read through it, and they talked about how they use GlusterFS, so I thought it was cool. But other than that, nothing. I know nothing about it. Code Brewery, hey, thanks for the follow, appreciate it, welcome, how you doing? Apologize the lag and the delay in the stream. Neuralinks, WSL2 networking doesn't play nice with VPN clients like AnyConnect. Yeah, it doesn't play nice networking with anything, period. Double period, triple period. I totally agree, Neuralinks, and that's why I went back to WSL1. It's because, like I said, it creates, I think, a virtual machine. That virtual machine has an IP address, and then it's NATed, and then it has its own firewall. And so getting all 3 of those things to work and persist is a lot of PowerShell. It's a lot of service commands you have to issue. And then there's even this fix that you can apply it every time you boot up, which is not fun. And so, yeah. And I was like, this is not for me. I'm not going to create a ton of firewall rules for just this, WSL piece when I'm, need to spin up lots of services really quick when I'm developing software. So yeah, those are the things I ran into. A lot of networking. So incoming networking it just won't work unless you create a firewall rule for it, because it's NATed. And on top of that has a firewall too. So it's tough. It's tough getting any incoming. And so if you're a developer, most of the time, you need incoming if you're doing web development. I guess if you're working on a services piece. Even if you're working on the front end piece, you still need it because you need to spin up a UI, right? You need to spin up your website, and then you need to go to port 80 or whatever it's hosted on to check your work. And you can't do that in WSL2. I'm like, this seems like a huge miss to me. Like, I mean, yeah, it just seems like a gigantic miss to me with WSL2, but I won't go into it. Because I love the idea of WSL1. And like I said, like ever since WSL, like I use my Windows machine 10x more times than I used to before. AnyConnect is mean all around anyways. Yeah, we use it for my work. Oh man. Ticano, oh noes, my USB drive with my encryption keys got corrupted. Oh man, this is why you do a backup. I totally agree. Lincoln Shadow, yep, I'm trying it out a little more than I did. Have some issues with V1 with SSH configuration keys. Hope that goes away. But as you say, network independence could be a nice thing. Yeah. For sure. Chicago Samurai, LOL, I'm here all day. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little behind on comments. And it's not because of the lag. I would blame it on that, but it's because you guys have so many interesting things to say and so many unique conversations. Love it. Linux Talk, by the way, is it possible to use NFS to export ISOs for use in Proxmox as a replacement for the default storage on the boot drive? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Using NFS export to store ISOs for, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Vermian Seifel says, yep. I assume that means yep to you. I don't know the answer to that for sure. Lincoln Shadow, I need to use Windows at work, so it's a win-win. Oh, yes. You're here all day too, huh? I like it. It's a win-win. Maybe you weren't going for the pun, but I read it. I saw it. PC Geek, when you mount NFS on Proxmox, just be sure to use select. Oh, I see where you're going. Sorry. Oh, I was thinking NTFS. Yes. So, and PC Geeks got you covered because that was in my, one of my Proxmox tips from today was basically mounting a share. The share that I mounted was NFS, and then you select your content type for that share. And one of those can be ISOs. And then, so that's exactly what I did. So sorry, didn't understand the question, but PC Geek translated it. Thank you. Vermium Seifel. There's a new version of Proxmox out with more organized storage. Yeah. So Proxmox 6.3 was released a couple days ago. Well, I think on the 27th or something. Yesterday. Yeah, where they really highlighted. So I didn't read through, I read through the features, but I already forgot them. But most of what they talked about was the native integration now with Proxmox backup server. Well, it already had integration, but now that Proxmox backup server is 1.0, it also now, Proxmox 6.3 now has support for the 1.0 version of PBS or Proxmox backup server. So yeah, interesting. Lots of stuff coming from Proxmox. I'm glad they're continuing to develop this. So yeah. Chicago Samurai, thank you. Lag happens. Yeah, for sure. Gaming Golfer. All right. I'm currently working on converting Cisco wireless AP from lightweight to autonomous. From there, setting it to mixed mode and act as a bridge. Nice. Yeah. This sounds interesting. Sounds like you got some fun things to work on. Taitrime, terrible buffering here with poor Wi-Fi connection as well. LOL. Man, yeah, it's not just you. Tim panics. Tim, what storage option do you use for Kubernetes? Longhorn since you use Rancher? Pros or cons? Great question. So my storage option until now has been either binds to nodes or NFS mounts with a persistent volume claim. And so, absolutely. I'm going to be looking at Longhorn for sure. Longhorn is super interesting. I've been reading a ton about it. So if you're not familiar, Longhorn is yet another thing that Rancher built that gives you block storage, replicated block storage across all of your nodes, which is interesting. It's interesting. I have to see how it plays out because I'm like, okay, I can create a disk, thin provision a disk for 20 gigs, and now that's replicating to all of my nodes. Sounds cool, but what does that mean? in practice, you know? And so I love what they're doing, and there are other people in this space that are doing similar things. So it's definitely, I think, a good future for storage on Kubernetes. And I think the interesting thing that they're doing is, you know, not just creating storage, but they're trying to solve the problem of exactly what you're asking, or what I've been doing for a long time, is how do I make this storage, you know, these volume mounts available no matter where they spin up? And, you know, that's tough. That's tough for people who are putting things in Kubernetes. And that's tough for, you know, storage administrators too. Like, how do we always make sure that wherever, you know, these pods spin up, they have access to the data that they just had access to on the previous node? And so that's exactly what Longhorn's trying to solve, along with some other stuff. So there are other players in there too that are trying to figure it out. I haven't used it. I've done a ton of reading, and so the way I work is I read, I think about it. I read, I think about it. I read and I think about it, and that's what I've been doing with a few things. And each time I take that break to think about it, I get a little bit further in my understanding. And so I think I'm on round 3 of read and think about it with Longhorn, because I keep revisiting it. Like I've read and revisited it many times before I'm actually going to use it. So then by the time I'm actually going to use it, some of those terms are kind of familiar with me, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's what I do here. Or oh, that's what that was for. And so don't have a full formed opinion yet. I will very shortly. So yeah, Fermium Sci-File, Cloudflare Proxy doesn't work for me. My machines are blocking them sometimes, or sometimes always. Oh, that stinks. That's not good. It's not good. Should just work, I think. Storm Chaser, pure curiosity. Is it possible to make a NAS using only Proxmox without virtualizing other operating systems like Freenas, only Proxmox? I think so. You just create a ZFS volume, create shares, and set some permissions. I think some people have done it. I think it's possible, for sure. Moriva, I've watched your latest YouTube video right now. You're making yourself a hard time when using cloning templates in Proxmox, not by using Cloud Init. Totally agree. It would help you. I wouldn't have changed hostname, machine ID, and so on manually. Don't know if you're reading the comments on your YouTube channel. Yeah, absolutely I am. I mean, but I just released the video like 8 hours ago. So yeah, Moriva, I totally agree. Cloud Init, and a few people mentioned that in Discord today too, would help me out there, for sure. I just have a list of scripts that I run afterwards that I know work 100%, and it takes no thought up front. So yeah, I totally agree. Cloud Init would help with Ubuntu. Yeah, totally agree. And I considered throwing that in there, but I'm like, is this going to be a 23-minute video, or is it going to be a 28-minute video? And so I totally agree that there are always better ways to do some of the things that I've been doing. And these are one of the things where it's like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Keep coming with those things where I can help improve some stuff. And I thought about that before I released it. I'm like, should I even mention Cloud Init here? And I was like, how far down the rabbit hole do I go in one video? But yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I just been doing it. I have scripts. I have 5 scripts that I run that I know how to clean up a cloned machine. But you're right, Cloud Init would probably help out there. I don't know if it helps with the SSL piece, where it regenerates the SSL certificates if you have, SSH server certificates if you had an SSH server running when you clone the machine. I haven't tried that, but that's part of my script too. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Fermium Sci-File, it feels like a security also. It feels like a security also, because if I only expose web services, then it may be more secure. Also, if I want to do next level proxy, they need to break through one of them first to be a man in the middle. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I just think that, if you're going to use a proxy in the cloud to point back to your proxy then internally, like you're going to have to open more ports than 80 and 443. Unless you're just doing 80 and 443. I think it needs to be a 1-to-1. I think. Possibly. But I'm not sure what services you're trying to host though, for sure. Bocog, I think you can have Istio in OpenShift Rancher as well. Yeah, for sure. Ichiban Death, 50 PCs? Oh yeah. I built, easily. easily between home, friends, family, work. Absolutely. But that's not that many. Wharf, why do I want to say Wharfenmeister? Warp-Master. Have you ever used Progress? I don't think so. There's also Milu. Nice. Easton Co. All right, Easton. The science and tech community on Twitch inspires me to learn code on the daily, even if it's hobby for me at this point. All right, that's what I like to hear, because there's a lot of problems you can solve with code. And you know, I'll just say this real quick. Before I started writing my own code, I would always find tools to fix problems for me, or to help me fix my own problems. And it wasn't until I started writing code that I realized that I can write these tools myself. But then at the same time, then you have the explosion of open source. Now it's like everyone's written a tool for everything, so why do I even write my own code? But anyways, there are lots of times when I'm like, this tool does everything but, or this tool does, you know, most but, and now I can write the code or fork a project and write the code to do the things now that I need, which is super nice. So hopefully that inspires you. I don't know if it sounds overwhelming or what, but yeah, thank you. Dark Sarchio PR. Men started watching your video being a cybersecurity student, but love labs. Truly enjoy your content. Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, man. Dark Sarchio. Sachiro. I'm gonna go with that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Sorry about the lag. Canister Copel. It's late here. Good luck, have fun, and good night. Hey, thanks for stopping in for sure. Tuxit, what router modem do you use for your home lab? Or what model is a good one to manage a little home lab? I have a TP link, TDW9970. I guess it depends on your ISP. So I get fiber from my ISP, so I have one that's provided by them, and they don't even charge me to rent it. So it's awesome. If you're using cable modem, I think either of the Motorola surfboards are pretty good. And I think those are the ones I recommend to people, because people ask me that all the time, because I'm like, stop renting modems and all-in-ones and just buy your modem, save yourself some money. So when I tell my friends that, they're like, okay, well, what modem do I buy? You know, and for a long time, I wasn't ready for that question. But I do have some of those answers in the link below. In Gear, and I think if you go into Gear and you go into networking, you'll see the two modems that I recommend that my friends buy. And really, it's just Motorola surfboards. And there are two different models, and it just depends on what their download speed is. Because, you know, obviously, for whatever reason, they're going to upcharge for a higher download speed, which probably makes no sense. It's probably artificial limitation, so you can buy up. PC Geek, for me, with my router is wired only. I use Edge router from Ubiquiti. Nice. And I use another wireless router for wireless AP only. Nice. Yeah. So going back to the question, then I separate those two out. So then what router? Yeah, I mean, I have a UDM Pro, so I mean, that's probably overbuying for what you're asking. And I get my modem from the company that gives me internet, and they don't charge me for it. But I have fiber. No route. Thanks for the drone CI recommendation. I already have it up and running. Nice, super easy to set up. I didn't have any experience with CI/CD, so this is a great first step. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's super easy. If you need some examples of how to do it in YAML, your CI pipeline, look at one of my GitHub repos. And do exactly what I do in there, because the syntax is exactly the same. So find my repo on GitHub, look for a GitLab CI.yaml, and then just rename it to drone.yaml or whatever drone names it to, and it should work. It should work exactly. So yeah. Willie live on Twitch. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Hey, John, you're not the only one lagging. It's everyone. I don't know what's going on with Twitch. It's been like this since I started. I'm just rolling with it, hoping it'll fix, but it's been doing that. So I apologize, but thanks for asking and for speaking up. Abysmal. I have a device that should be on 80, but I already have something on port 80. Can I specify node 80 and use that within the cluster? Abysmal. Let me think about this. If I have a device that should be on port 80, but I already have something on port 80, can I specify a node, specific node, and use port 80 on that node within the cluster. So let me peel this back a little bit. So if you're using Docker containers and the Docker container says, hey, I exposed port 80, dash P 80, colon 80, you have the option to remap that yourself. So you can do this in a couple places. Hey, the K2F, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. So Abysmal, you can do this in a couple of places. One, you can do it within the Docker container if you're using a Docker container. You just map it to a different port, map it to something else, whatever, 30,000. And then now your service is magically running on 30,000 when it gets exposed. And so you can do that at the Docker level, or you can do that at the pod level and create an ingress, and where you basically do the same thing, where you just say, hey, this container now communicates on port 80. So if you're doing it in Kubernetes, you can, or whatever port you choose. If you're doing it on Kubernetes, you do it with an ingress, which is basically a reverse proxy. And then if you're doing it just on plain old Docker, you can remap that port. If that person has not exposed that port and you have no way to do it, then yeah, it's going to be tough, because then you're going to have to put reverse proxies in front of one of them. But with Kubernetes, you can do it through an ingress, or Docker, you can do it through just commands when you spin it up. Hopefully that answers your question. Vermian Seifeld, don't hate me, but here is all about NFS. Oh, thank you. All right. A lot of things changed since then, but the basis helps. Thank you. Neuralinks, posted in containerization. Yeah. Better have smart people's chips in too. Thank you so much. Vermian Seifeld, I've used Longhorn and hate with it. I love the concept, but hate it. You can't use the volume with 2 containers. Interesting. I didn't know that. So I'll have to keep looking. I think about doing it like blah domain LTD pointing at a public proxy, that pointing then to et cetera, pointing that VM, the proxy handles the request like localhost. Yeah, crazy boy. Yeah, still buffering. I apologize. Vermian Seifeld, yeah, I think it's all totally possible. It's all possible, especially if you have a reverse proxy in there, or some kind of load balancer reverse proxy, so that you can take that port, translate that port to a different port, and do your things inside. So then you only expose one port. Absolutely. But you'll have a couple layers for sure. Easton, it does inspire me to keep going, studying something completely different in school right now. Definitely a plan to just sit down and code for a month on winter break. All right, I like it. Misanthropy D, audio's okay, but video is frozen. Just catch it. Yeah, sorry. It comes and it goes. Vermium Seifeld, is it worth doing OpenStack at home? Yeah, I don't know. It seems pretty popular in the enterprise. Yeah, I think that decision is going to be up to you. If you just want to learn about it, sure. But if you're trying to get, pick it up as a skill to use elsewhere, yeah, I mean, you got to figure out who uses it too. Yeah, I don't have a ton of experience with OpenStack, but it's very popular. So, yeah, it's on my list to look into and see if I can do something a little bit different at some point. Crazy Owl, I'll try VPN. I think it's all Twitch. I don't know about all Twitch, but definitely my channel on Twitch for sure. Let's see here. Vermium Seifeld, I think he thinks about node port and host port. Yeah. Yeah, about the port he's trying to expose, I think. I don't know. Jens OX86. I was thinking about setting up Proxmox on a Ryzen 1700. Let me get a drink real quick. I just realized I've been like yelling for an hour. I was thinking to set up Proxmox on a Ryzen 1700, have no GPU. I don't want to lose the 16x port to run a dedicated card, but I want to use the GPUs to send to VMs. So I wonder how much problems I'm talking on. Yeah. This is a tough one because I kind of had to go through the same thing with my 1U builds, trying to figure out would a Ryzen work without an APU? Because it sounds like you don't have a GPU, and your 1700 doesn't have an APU, I believe. Yeah, that one's tough. I mean, if you were able to use just the video card in the beginning, wait, so do you want to pass through the GPU? One second. I don't want to lose the 16X port and run a dedicated card, but I want to use GPUs to send to the VMs. Yeah. So you can do this. You can, I think this will work. Don't quote me on it, but it's worth trying. Set up Proxmox, install it, keep that GPU in the 16X slot, and get it up and working. Then, once you create your VM and you set up GPU pass-through or PCI pass-through, and you pass through that GPU to the VM, then possibly it might work. You'll just never see the output from a term on a screen again. You'll have to either use SSH to terminal in, or you'll have to use the web view, Proxmox GUI from then on. Is it worth it? Yeah, I mean, it might be worth a shot. I would just ask, like, if you have 8X slots, I would just ask yourself if really you need the 16X bandwidth on that GPU. Because most of the time, most GPUs don't use all of the lanes of 16X, and they don't. And so if you had another video card, you could throw 2 in there and put 1 in the 8X and just kind of let it hang out. Totally work fine. But it just depends on what you're going to do, especially if you're not going to use, like if you're only going to use part of the GPU, I don't know what the GPU is, but if you're going to just use it for CUDA or for encoding or something like that, you absolutely don't need 16X slot for that, because it doesn't use that much bandwidth. But if you're set on using 16X and you absolutely want to do it, you could try building your Proxmox server with it. Use the GPU initially for building it, pass the GPU through, see if the thing still boots up, and then see if your virtual machine then gets that card. And if it does and everything's fine, that's totally fine. And then in a pinch, if you ever need to see the video output, you could just stop passing through the GPU temporarily, and it's super easy to do. You just edit a config file, stop passing it through, comment that line out, and then it would be passed back through to the host. So yeah, I think it's worth a shot, especially if you're limited on hardware you can buy and it's exactly what you have and you don't want to buy anything else. Yeah, what could go wrong? A lot could go wrong, but what do you have to lose? NetFryer tech stream with technical issues. Tell me about it. But the thing is, I have absolutely nothing in my power to actually change it, and that's where it's tough. See here, no links. I work on OpenStack. Telcos run it a lot. Nice. Vermium Seifel, is it worth it going from Proxmox to OpenStack? Interesting. I don't know the answer to that question. Jens, yeah, I already do that, but the current server has an Intel CPU integrated. Oh, well. Oh, nice. Well, then if you have a GPU, oh, CPU with integrated. If you have it with integrated, yeah, then pass it through. Yeah, it'd be totally fine. Misanthropy, I had similar concerns about Ryzen as a headless Proxmox, but I know there's some server motherboards for Ryzen that have IPMI, but I haven't been able to find them. If you can use IPMI to manage or run video out of it directly, if not in use. Oh, I see what you mean. Because if you don't have a video output, how could IPMI capture it? I'm not sure. The ones that I've seen with IPMI usually have an integrated video card too into the motherboard. Mathny, I was able to set up Proxmox on a Ryzen 7 3rd gen with 16X GPU pass-through with Windows 10. All right, I love it. NetFryer, I'm working on a plan to migrate a Fortune 400 company from an on-prem cloud. Need to retain the same defense in-depth controls from VLAN/zone segregation and security boundaries for 11.7 inspection and control both east, west, north, and south. Oh my gosh, man, you got your work cut out for you. But it sounds really awesome. Sounds like a ton of work. I'm sure this is probably a multi-month or multi-year project then you're working on. That sounds pretty sweet. Mathny and a single GPU. Awesome. John Joachim White, can you try to grab another Twitch server? No, I don't want to start the stream and start it again. I guess I've gone this long and it's not looking like it's going to get any better. It's a good option. If I was 5 minutes in, I would definitely do it. But no, I'm probably, and it's a good segue into probably wrapping this up soon though too, is another reason why I'm probably not going to do it. But yeah, it's a great question. And I probably should have thought about that a little bit earlier, but I had to start and stop the stream twice. I'm like, how many notifications do I want to send out to people? QSK Wood. Tim, do you know what the different hashing options are for lag? If I'm not, check out the Ubuntu wiki called Ubuntu Bonding, which explains. Real quick, Matt Blame. Hey, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome. Sorry about the lag. Speaking of lag, so link aggregation. Do I know the different algorithms? No, I don't. Actually, I don't. The one that I used in Proxmox, I just discovered was layer 2 and 3, and that worked for me, and it worked flawless. And so that was the first time I did a deeper dive about lag and LACP than I have done previously, because I'm not a network administrator. I just play one in my home lab. And so that was my first time kind of diving any deeper than any normal. So I don't know the answer to that, but I know that the only one I know now is the layer 2 and 3 that I use in my own environment. So good question though. Sci-Fi Jeep Guy, dang. Sci-Fi Jeep Guy, hey, thanks so much. Gifting 2 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much. Codist and Cryptics, enjoy your gifted subs from Sci-Fi Jeep Guy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Billy Quiz Boy, have you considered simultaneously streaming to YouTube Live? I can't simultaneously stream anywhere, and most people from Twitch can't because in their affiliate agreement it says so. So the people who are doing it must not have read their affiliate agreement closely enough. Either that or I'm misinterpreting it, but I think that's common knowledge across most people who know that you shouldn't. So yeah, no, I nor would I. You know, even if I could and I wasn't bound by an agreement, I don't think I would. I don't think I would. It's a good idea, but I don't want to manage 2 chats. I want to, I want to stick with my Twitch community. But yeah, great question. I just think that, once you reach and have an affiliate agreement with Twitch, you can't simultaneously stream anywhere else. But yeah. Vermium Cyphel, could you build a storage rack? Maybe. That's a lot. I mean, I have a disk shelf with 6 of 24 bays filled, but man, that's a whole entire rack just for storage. Whew, that's a lot of power. Crazy Boy Al, it's a podcast name. Oh wait, what am I missing out on? Try IRC-PDCC command to fix Twitch. All right. Love it. Yeah, awesome. 5zip, hey, how's it going? Good to see you. Wow. So first of all, really quick, I wanted to, I'm gonna wrap it up. Sorry, no segues. But I do want to say, dang, thank you so much for everyone who came out today, who stuck with it till the end of the stream, despite all the difficulties. I'll try to figure out if this is something on my side or Twitch side. I just haven't done anything different with my whole entire environment since I streamed last time. So maybe it is something here. I know that my internet's totally fine. Everything else is fine. And even audio seems fine. But for some reason, video freezes probably every 15 seconds for about 10 seconds. And it just keeps happening. So I do really appreciate everyone sticking through it. I do apologize I was late. So how many strikes do I get before I'm out? There's 2, hopefully not a 3rd. But man, lots of people in the stream today. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the follows, for the bits, for the subs, for the gifted subs. I really, 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 truly appreciate it. I just can't, I can't thank you enough. It seems like there's a lot of newer people too in the stream. The conversation doesn't have to end here. And I'm not the only one who has all the answers. We have an entire community of people that have lots of answers, have lots of experiences, have lots of life, work, and professional, experiences and home lab experiences with a lot of things that I'm talking about too. So you can get a perspective bigger than mine. We have a Discord community. It's full of lots of people who are interested, who are passionate about tech. And so if you haven't seen it yet, I highly encourage you to join. It's right there. And my bot doesn't like me either. If I can type it, scored. There we go. It's right there. I encourage you to join and check it out. Lots of channels full of people talking about lots of different things and lots of tech and lots of help going on in there. Yeah, and so I will see you guys on Tuesday, and I hope you have a great rest of the weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in and sticking through it, even though we had so many difficulties, so I appreciate it. I will see you guys Tuesday, and as always, be good to each other. Take care.